Hello everyone, it's me, Curtis Connor 14 Pro Max, here for another video on YouTube.com. Today we're going to be looking at a video from the Anti-Woke YouTube channel, Think Before You Sleep. I use anti-woke in a general sense. It's kind of anti-feminist, anti-SJW sort of stuff. This video, called How Woke Propaganda Works, is a reaction video to a video from Novara Media, and it's hosted by Ash Sarkar. I'm just going to play his video, which plays her video and his reaction, and then I'm going to talk about what we're seeing. It's going to be slow, it's going to be clunky and chunky, but we're gonna have fun with it and we love it. Thank you. Let's go.
Lately, I've been seeing this thing pop up on social media.
We are going to talk about how you can become a traditional wife.
Some younger millennials and Zoomers have decided to embrace living la vida casserole, dedicating themselves to cooking, cleaning, and child rearing while their husbands or boyfriends, chop firewood or go to their job in human resources. This isn't just about personal choice or individual preferences. It's advancing a right-wing political ideology and dressing it up as a lifestyle.
Oh no, women doing housework, child rearing, right wing, traditional. What has this world come to? This is terrible. Somebody please save us from this deeply misogynistic movement where women are choosing to stay home instead of working a job.
Ow. So that's what this video is like. Random stock image, smug, whiny commentary that takes the first 20 seconds of the introduction to a video and does a little bit of a straw man, summarizing the trad wife social media phenomenon as women choosing to stay home and work.
Deeply misogynistic movement where women are choosing to stay home instead of working a job.
It's a classic example of a straw man. However, I think we can grant some leniency because it's a sarcastic kind of like preaching to the choir that already gets what I'm saying sort of thing. So let's just keep watching and check it out.
Why is this important? 3 things. These women are often really young, in their 20s, and they're preaching the values of submitting to a husband to an audience of other young women.
Gee, as opposed to what the mainstream left is promoting to young children during family-friendly events? Also, why is submitting to a partner bad if it's done so by choice?
This video has 300,000 views, and the channel has 700,000 subscribers, and this is the level of commentary. Pure, raw, unfiltered whataboutism, straight from the source. He is here referencing the right-wing propaganda movement to frame things like Drag Queen Story Hour as being inherently predatory towards children, and turning them trans, hitting them with the trans ray. Part of the problem here is that the audience for this kind of video is so fully bought into right-wing propaganda that an assertion like that can just go fully unchallenged. They listen to Ben Shapiro, they follow libs of TikTok, they see the constant misrepresentation of drag queens and trans people, grouping those together because they like to just sort of group them together, and how RuPaul is coming to your house to break through your window to hit your child over the head with a hardcover copy of The Giving Tree. It's very scary and very real stuff that's going on.
Also, why is submitting to a partner bad if it's done so by choice? You just said a thing with a negative tone without explaining why it's wrong. Particularly when one of the most common things women ask for in a relationship is leadership from men.
Source? Can we get a source? Me, when I pull an idea out of thin air, the most commonly cited thing that women want is for me to go to bed at my bedtime. The woman is my mom, and she represents the thoughts and feelings of women across the globe. Also, he's like, you're using this negative tone without explaining why it's wrong. You're 40 seconds into the video. The video hasn't started. This is the introduction. The points are being listed out, and then they're gonna go in detail if you watch the video. All you gotta do is watch the video. But this person is allergic to pre-watching, which we love on this channel. We love it when they're contradicted later and then they just don't even bring it up. But maybe he's a mind reader. Let's watch.
The tradwife trend doesn't exist in isolation. It's linked to deeply regressive political and social movements such as Christian and white nationalism and anti-feminism.
Well, we knew they couldn't make it the whole video without calling someone far right. Ignoring the fact that I bet if you actually surveyed the women who run these tradwife channels, none of them listen to Nick Fuentes.
Me, when I make stuff up, I love the way he does that. I bet if you asked these people this thing, they'd say what I think, because that's how statistics work.
Connections can also be more explicit. One mumfluencer called Wife with a Purpose issued a white baby challenge, calling on women to have as many white babies as possible. This is an idea central to neo-Nazism.
I love how showing a Christian nationalist and then a white nationalist is just calling people far right with no basis. They are those things. They are self-proclaimed. You can see it in the it's look at the shirt. Listen to Nick Fuentes anytime he's talking. That's what he is. It's okay to just like live in reality, you know?
Hitler was a pedophile. pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool.
We knew they couldn't make it the whole video without calling someone far right.
He also just once again puts words in her mouth. She didn't say that the women that run these Trout Wife accounts listen to Nick Fuentes. She said something different than that, which you can run it back and listen if you want, but it wasn't that.
Also, how are Christians regressive? I mean, Muslims have traditional values. Are they regressive too? It's weird that only one religion was mentioned during the entire video. But again, you're just saying things are bad with no reason why.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to put on a coat because, you know, sometimes you're just a chilly boy. He asked the question here, how are Christians regressive? But that's not what she said. She said that Christian nationalism and anti-feminism are regressive, and those aren't the same thing as Christianity. It's really nice that when he's done making what he thinks is a point, he says, also, it really makes it easy to debunk each thing he says because they're separated, nice and easy. Bringing up the fact that Ash is a Muslim and finger-wagging, well, actually, to an argument she never made. It's goofy behavior, that's what I would call it, goofy behavior. Preaching to the choir behavior, because they don't care. They aren't intellectually logged in, they are getting mad. This video is making them mad, it's supposed to make them mad, and it's succeeding. It is 99% likes.
It's part of a wider shift of young people being dissatisfied with neoliberalism and wanting social change.
I have no idea what she just said, so I'm going to go by what the red highlighted text says.
I'm uneducated, and I'm making that your problem. I remember there's some old anti-SJW videos that did this same thing.
So, like most people who grew up immersed in the neoliberal ideology of the West.
What? Neoliberal ideology of the West. Let's just break that one down for a moment, shall we? Neo, meaning new. Liberal, the idea that the world should be governed on a principle of liberty and equality for all people. And this is supposed to somehow be a bad thing to think.
Loudly proclaiming that you don't know what a word means. It's supposed to be like a comedic thing, like, oh, the woke left is going so far with their terms, they're just making words up. When neoliberalism is really a politics 101 concept, at least understanding the basics of the term and what she's trying to say here. It's not a simple concept, but acting like it's a new thing it's silly. You know, it's silly.
I have no idea what she just said, so I'm going to go by what the red highlighted text says. A misguided expression of the desire for social change. Again, just one little example of what you're talking about to show why the trend is bad. I understand that this is like an outline of your speech, but at least give me a teaser so if I only watch the intro, I know why this is bad, as opposed to only knowing that this is bad.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, he admitted. He's just admitting it. This is responsible content creation 101. It's one thing if you're a viewer and you need a little bit more context in the introduction to a video, but you're a content creator making a critique. You are critiquing the ideas here, you disagree with them, and you are so lazy that you can't just watch the video first. That's all you have to do. Is watch the video first. I need a little treat, a little teaser before I can decide if I want to eat the meal.
Surely between calling your opponents far-right extremists and all that expensive and fancy editing, you can afford to do that. But maybe it's not the purpose of a media outlet that clearly bleeds money to be honest about their portrayal of info. And when I say bleeds money, I mean that this 300K sub channel called Novara Media has trouble hitting 50K views on an average video, yet somehow is able to afford a staff of multiple pundits, editors, expensive equipment, and a studio. With all these expenses, there is no way this channel makes money, so clearly someone is paying for this information to be spread.
This is where a fun conspiracy begins. He speculates that this channel must be bleeding money, while not mentioning the fact that they have thousands of donors and paying subscribers outside of YouTube. He mentions it later, but that's why this claim that they're bleeding money is speculative at best and dishonest at worst. Also, to be clear, this is a media organization that is building a YouTube presence, and just because that YouTube presence has yet to become profitable on its own, somehow means that there must be secret people behind the scenes pulling the strings. This gets really good though here.
What is Novara Media? Who is this presenter, Ash Sarkar? Well, I found this video of her on Piers Morgan where she says this.
Because I'm literally a communist.
That's not a shock. But what is a shock is that you can buy jewelry of that quote or t-shirts that say marks on them on the Novara Media website shop, which is very capitalist of them. Wait, did that jewelry page say topple and burn? Yep, it did. You can't make this stuff up. A group of communists literally partnered with a company called Topple and Burn, which really just signifies the sort of violent behavior that communists are known for. This stuff is just right in your face.
He's actually got a point here. Topple and burn is a pretty dangerous dog whistle. Some of you may recall the January 6th protesters decked out in their merch. As soon as you put on the necklace, it makes you storm the White House. It's true. Many are saying this.
Anyway, then I stumbled across their Support Us page where it says, Defy billionaire-backed media and back truly independent journalism. I wish I recorded my initial laughter while reading this because I work in this industry and there is no way that they could afford this staff with a small YouTube channel and independent donors.
Okay. I work in this industry. You have a YouTube channel, man. You have a YouTube channel. Anyone with a blog is just working in the industry now. And look, I get that he's trying to say he has a YouTube channel, it's successful, he understands the rough breakdown of ad revenue and things like that. Still very funny to call having a YouTube channel working in the industry. The industry he doesn't work in, though, is the journalism industry, the one that takes into account the donors and speculates on another channel's earnings. Pocket watching. This is called pocket watching. I'm gonna skip ahead after this part because he's just doing a thing where he's just like being kind of mean, I guess.
Novara Media wants you to know that they know what the cool kids are into.
Mainstream media sucks.
It literally is.
Amazing dance moves, Ash.
Why are you shitting on Ash's dance move? She's just having a good time in that video. Come on, man. I challenge you, think before you sleep, to post a video of you dancing and see how people on the internet talk about you. Just saying. He uploads a stock image of Aruba bouncing up and down or something. What? I'm literally one of the images. I'm dancing. This is me dancing.
Now let's go over the numbers. Novara Media boasts that they, at the time of the video, had 200,000 subs and 2.5 million monthly views, which sounds like a lot, but it's not nearly enough to accrue 6,000 donors. I don't know any 200K subscriber channels with anywhere near that number of donors. I get like double their monthly views. I have promoted donations in the past on many videos, and I don't even have 200 monthly supporters between Patreon and Subscribestar.
This one's so good. This one's so good. I've completely failed at building a Patreon audience, so everyone must also do that. Again, the logic here is just bonkers. The reason I'd imagine no one wants to sub to his Patreon is because he's not a particularly entertaining or talented creator. He just shovels the right-wing slop into the audience's mouths. This is modern-day Fox News. They sit there and they watch. They get mad at the source material because it's being misrepresented, of course. And then they go on about their days. Paying extra to hear more of this guy's voice? No thanks. None for me, thanks. I thank you, but none for me, thanks.
And I don't even have 200 monthly supporters between Patreon and Subscribestar. So who gave them the exposure to get thousands of donors? You would need monthly views at least in the tens of millions to get that.
Go right now to any of the top pages on Patreon. Think before you sleep. I'm talking to you. Maybe you'll respond to this, maybe you won't, but if you're watching my video, go to the thing and look at the viewership. They don't need 10 million. They don't even need 1 million. It's just, you need to just have a good content and a good relationship with the audience. It's harder for you because you do propaganda and they don't care about you. They care about getting mad. That's it. Okay, this is where the real expose begins. Here we go. This is good.
Here's where things get more interesting. I went to this website here and found that Novara Media partners with a group called the Media Fund, who also partners with a group called Open Democracy. Open Democracy receives money from the Ford Foundation, and it also received hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2021 from the Open Society Foundations.
Notice what just happened there. He just jumped from one thing to the next thing to the next thing without proving a real connection. Novara Media partners with the Media Fund. The Media Fund partners with Open Democracy. Notice Novara Media doesn't partner with Open Democracy. It's a guilt by association. There's an intermediary party.
Some of you tinfoilers might already know who runs the Open Society Foundations, but for those of you who don't, let's go to their website. Oh look, it's billionaire George Soros. I swear when you study this stuff enough, it feels like all paths eventually lead to George Soros.
Okay, that's weird comment there. But again, Novara Media is not funded by George Soros. This is full speculation and guilt by association, dressed up as investigative journalism. It's horrible. It's hilariously bad.
We're free for all to access, free from ad partnerships, free from paywalls, and free from the influence of the super rich.
The founder of Novara Media, this guy here, Aaron Bastani, has also written for the George Soros-funded Open Democracy, and Novara Media did a podcast with Open Democracy's founder as well. So who exactly is funding you again?
My favorite tech YouTuber did an interview with Bill Gates, and ever since then, it's all woke 5G vaccine propaganda. Again, trying to prove a link by association. So snarky and smug, and all just so obviously wrong and reaching.
Also, according to The Guardian, this group called the Media Fund that Novara Media is a part of has all sorts of regulations, which means not only do they probably have billionaire donors, but they also have a politically driven regulatory organization that they have to adhere to.
The National Union of Journalists Code of Conduct, which is to demonstrate a commitment to factual and accurate reporting, and within a year of joining, become fully unionized workplaces. It does say new partners must be approved by existing partners, suggesting that right-wing outlets are unlikely to be selected. But again, does that prove an agenda? No, it doesn't. It shows a general trend of the types of publications that get selected, but the wokeism comes before that selection. They're already woke. There's no one telling them to be woke. Again, I'm using woke in the way they understand it. To them, it means left-wing, liberal, anything over there. That's what it means. Shout out to little Joel.
Hey, booby champs.
Okay, so now we're moving forward to the meat and potatoes here, which is the claim about propaganda. The first claim being it's full of strawman arguments. This video from Ash Sarkar. Let's set aside the fact that the video so far has had billions of strawman arguments and just see what he's got to say.
More importantly, though, and now that we know who's behind this company, this tradwife video from Novara Media is an excellent example of using heavy amounts of propaganda to get you to believe a certain narrative without any actual evidence that what they are saying is true. So let's get back to Ash Sarkar and discuss how the propaganda works by first showing you how they only use one-sided strawman arguments.
Like with the example of finances, the idea of submission is that by giving up her independence, autonomy, and power, a woman will be taken care of by a good and godly man. She serves him, he serves Christ, but only one person is scrubbing out the toilet.
Okay, and only one person is dealing with an asshole boss. Only one person is repairing the stuff that breaks. Only one person is lifting the heavy stuff. Seriously, these feminists love to forget all the traditional male house chores, while at the same time being incredibly demeaning and insulting to men in their portrayals.
You know, the reason Ash describes what the male's role is here as just serving Christ is that historically there is an imbalance. The idea that these traditional gender roles are a one-to-one exchange is false. That's why feminists historically have fought for what they've fought for. It's really pedantic to take Ash's outline of this idea and declare it a straw man when it's not even the argument. You're just taking everything she says and breaking it down like it's too much. It's bad. It's dishonest. Like, listen to the next part.
The influence of fundamentalist religion extends far beyond whatever private arrangements a couple may have as part of a household. Tradwife culture is dominated by aggressively anti-abortion, anti-birth control, and anti-sex views.
At the start of the video, he makes the point that Ash is declaring traditional gender roles as inherently misogynistic.
Somebody please save us from this deeply misogynistic movement where women are choosing to stay home instead of working a job.
But here she is very clearly refuting that notion.
And look, I'm not saying there's anything inherently degrading about being a mum or making nice meals. I like cooking elaborate dinners. For that matter, my boyfriend does too.
Why didn't he delete that part from the beginning of the video? Because he does not care about being honest. That's not the point here. The point here is shovel, 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 shovel.
I like cooking elaborate dinners. For that matter, my boyfriend does too.
Now you might say it's just a coincidence that she talks about how she can make complex meals while making her boyfriend look stupid. Surely they aren't intentionally trying to make men look bad here.
Okay, this is where we get to this sort of incel vibes from this guy. She plays a clip of him, being silly with the whisker. And he's like, you're making him look so stupid. How could you do this? He must be so embarrassed that his girl is making him look like a cuck. But it's like, bro, it's a silly clip. It's a silly clip. An example of him making an elaborate dinner and being a little silly while he does it. How is that her making him look bad? It's just funny. Super triggered and sensitive at the slightest hint that a guy is being poked fun at. And he's not even being poked fun at. They're dating. It's fine. It's funny. Chill the fuck out.
Though the idea of women being confined to the home while men do things like go outside and work isn't exactly new.
Is there any comparative description here that doesn't attempt to make men look like crap? Women are confined to the home while men can just do whatever they want. Maybe they go outside and work, or maybe they won't. This video has BuzzFeed levels of self-awareness.
She didn't say men can do whatever they want. She said men are working. Somehow he has managed to get lazier than he already was by just completely not listening to a 5-second clip. It's a 5-second clip, man.
You could easily flip this and say that men are forced to do the will of a boss all day while a woman gets to stay home watching soap operas and doing whatever she wants.
Men going outside and going to work, which is what she said,
while men do things like go outside and work,
is in the inverse summarized as women staying home and watching soap operas all day.
I bet if women actually gave men a choice to stay at home versus work for some boss they don't like or for rude customers, a giant portion of them would gladly not go to work.
So here he's being an accidental feminist by promoting the concept of a stay-at-home dad. The anti-feminist framing is, being a stay-at-home mom is better for you, actually. It's easier and better for you, and you like it. When the feminist framing is, you can be a stay-at-home mom, we have no problem with that. All we're saying is that you should have the right and autonomy to choose. Very simple, very simple.
Oftentimes I hear, and keep in mind, this isn't data or anything, this is just anecdotal. Could have a lot to do with the selection bias and the people who wind up in my office. But that it's kind of completely acceptable to a lot of my male patients that they have a partner that doesn't earn money and that a homemaker is like a laudable position. But women that I have as patients don't really feel the same way. They're actually very few.
Random clip of Dr. K, which he prefaces by saying this is anecdotal.
Keep in mind, this isn't data or anything. This is just anecdotal.
Love that. Love that. This guy hates data. He hates it. Just listen to how much he hates it. Listen to what he says next.
They're actually very few.
Yes, as far as I can see, including the many examples of women's testimony that I provided on this channel, the reason that house husbands are almost non-existent is because women generally don't want a man who stays home. They want a guy who makes more money than they do, whether they are politically on the left or the right. This is all compounded by another one-sided feminist lie, which is that housework is unpaid.
As far as I can see, including the many examples from my channel, which definitely doesn't have a particular agenda involved. Definitely not. Definitely not. Editor Noah, just go ahead and scroll through what types of videos he makes and the types of agendas of the people he presents are made out to be. Okay, I got somewhere to be. It's getting dark. I'm maybe gonna finish the rest of this video later. We are 9 minutes in of a 30-minute video, and this video must be jumping up to the 20-25 minute range. If you want a 3-part series from this creeper, let me know. If you don't, and if you hated this, also let me know. And I'll see you on the flip. I'll see you on the Philip.